Hi everyone, welcome back to another lecture on intelligent systems. This time we have kind of a mix of topics on the application of knowledge bases and knowledge graphs. So we're going to look at a few more knowledge bases that you can find out as linked open data. We look at some principles on how to build knowledge bases and on how they're being used in applications. So let's start with the first one. I mentioned this initiative a few times, linked open data, so we'll talk about that. But before we go there, there is a quick refresher on knowledge base queries. So remember, last time we talked about querying knowledge graphs using a query language called Sparkle, and that was the topic of the previous week's lecture. We talked about how to match triple patterns to graphs, which is what Sparkle is doing. Like in the select clause, you have a number of restrictions. And basically what you do is you create a table out of a graph. So select was the example where you turn a graph into a table by selecting a number of fields in that retrieved clause, whereas there were other statements like construct and describe where the result is a new graph. But just to make sure you didn't forget how to work with Sparkle, the first two tasks on the new worksheet are about writing two Sparkle queries. And before we start with the main part, also have a look at this very brief video. So remember a few lectures ago, I gave you the first part on Tim Berners-Lee. I hope you looked up who he is if you didn't know. And in the first part, he had this introduction to making data available. That was the video in 2009. And in the second video, 2010, he gave a brief update on some things that had happened in that year. So it's more than a decade ago, but you get a bit of a background on how what we work with today was being built, what was behind it. So after you do the exercises, have a look at this video. This one is not so long, like 5 minutes. And then I will see you back for the next part on linked data. See you then.